a difference.
Mr Chair.
I call the honourable member Kevin Hay.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Chair. I'd like to begin by picking up on a comment made by the Minister in her first remarks, where she mentioned the benefits associated with the alcohol industry and named specifically the jobs associated in that industry. I just want to bring the House's attention to the fact that the benefits are not mentioned in the object of this bill. What is instead mentioned is the requirement to minimise the harm caused by excessive or inappropriate consumption of alcohol. And Mr Chair, that's indeed where my comments are focused. So I wanted to come next to draw the House's attention in these preliminary remarks to the fact that there are probably roughly 1,000 New Zealanders each year who lose their lives due to the consumption of alcohol. 1,000 per year. That's quite a few, Mr Chair, and certainly one of the harms that the enumerated section here listing the types of harms certainly covers. In addition to those deaths, those 1,000 deaths, something like 70% of the presentations to emergency departments in our hospitals each weekend are from people who have been consuming alcohol. So this is a very major driver of injury in particular and indeed illness and death in this country. I can come back to some more detail on those in later parts of the debate. In addition, we have this very major problem with binge drinking, and others have already referred to that. And I just want to enumerate some statistics about that I've sourced from the New Zealand Drug Foundation. So 275,000 adult New Zealanders set out to get drunk on their last drinking occasion. 450,000 adults were binge drinking on their last drinking occasion. 700,000 New Zealanders have been categorised as binge drinkers, that is, consuming 7 or more standard drinks per session. And 1.2 million adult drinkers are okay with binging or accepting of binging and regularly do so. What that says, sir, is that the harm associated with alcohol consumption in this country is of a very major league indeed. And I'm going to come back, sir, to the match of the government's response to the scale of that harm, because, sir, there is a complete mismatch. In addition to those health-related statistics and statistics about the nature of binge drinking, there's also some information available from the New Zealand Police about the association of alcohol consumption with offending. So, for example, the police attribute 1 in 4 property offences to the consumption of alcohol. 1 in 5 sexual offences, 1 in 4 traffic offences, 1 in 5 traffic crashes, 1 in 2 drug and antisocial offences, 1 in 3 family violence offences, 1 in 3 violence offences. And, sir, as an illustration of alcohol as a magnifier, 1 in 3 violence offences, but 1 in 2 serious violence offences. Alcohol is absolutely wrapped up in the offending and in the drivers of crime that the Honourable Leanne Dalziel has referred to in her contribution already today. So the police estimate that overall, 1/3 of all police recorded offences are committed by an offender who has consumed alcohol prior to the offence. And 18%, sir, of the police budget is wrapped up in responding to alcohol-fuelled offending. So the harm that this bill ought to... Mr Chair.
I call the honourable member Kevin Haig.
Thank you, Mr Chair. The harm that this bill ought to be setting out to respond to is very considerable indeed. I have in this House over the last couple of years referred to the Ottawa Charter on several occasions. The Ottawa Charter is an international agreement that New Zealand is party to that sets out a formula for responding to health issues in our societies, that recognises that those health issues, that disease and injury and premature death are associated with socio-environmental factors. They're not purely problems related to the individuals who experience those issues. What the Ottawa Charter, sir, says is that if we want to address the burden of disease and injury in our societies, then we need to do a few things. We need to promote healthy public policy. We need to create supportive environments. We need to strengthen community responses. We need to develop personal skills, and we need to reorient health services. And so I often speak about these 5 actions collapsing into 2 basic things: the empowerment of communities and the individuals within them, and the creation of supportive environments, political environments, social environments, physical environments around those communities. And so that is the challenge that we ought to be responding to around alcohol. That is the challenge that this bill ought to rise to, and sir, does not. I've referred several times to the opportunity presented by the Law Commission's report. It presents the government of the day and this House with a once-in-a-generation opportunity to get alcohol policy right, to strengthen our community responses to alcohol, to empower communities to deal with those issues, and to create supportive environments around those communities that facilitate those responses. That is what this bill ought to be doing and does not. And when we come to the more detailed debate over the parts of this bill, we'll talk about those things. Because while the government sets out in all of the right directions, the progress that the measures it proposes make in those directions is pitifully small. And that is why other parties in the House, the Māori Party, the Labour Party and the Green Party, have all been advancing measures that would implement the recommendations of the Law Commission, that would give this House the opportunity to take up that once-in-a-generation opportunity to seriously minimise the harm that is created in our communities by alcohol. Thank you, sir.
I call the honourable member Tim McIndoe.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It is very